video, I'm going to be throwing together a quick video to kind of show you guys a victory that I have, well, that I'm pretty much set up to get on the highest difficulty of Help Will Come Tomorrow, which is Resident of Siberia. You can see here I have a very well established camp. I've got pretty much the full upgrades on every single station. I've got tons of food, materials, every tool is built, etc. So I've got the wind conditions here all set up. So I'm going to, before I get started, I want to show you guys a very handy little feature of the game for people who are trying to demonstrate things, which is the diary. It actually records a lot of events that are in the game, some conversations, but what we're going to be looking at here is we're going to be using the diary to look over the build order and look over quickly kind of what I did at the start of the game in order to get established. So I'll show you the build order, and I'll also mention some things I did on any given day. But on my first day, and this is a technique I can use to get through it really quickly rather than having to show you all the micromanagement. So on the first day, you can see I would have removed 4 of the 5 snowbanks from everything except the place I'd build a palisade. First thing I got, oh, by the way, the survivors I had to start were these 4 here, and I rescued Zofia later. But let's go back to that diary. So on the first day, I would have been removing quite a bit. Also, on the highest difficulty, you have to deal with the debuffs that they had. So I think I would have used a cigarette on one of the I think these guys were both in shock. So I used that one cigarette I had on Wadim to clear his shock status, so I wouldn't lose morale on the first day. Managing morale is very important. I think Alexei would have been sick to start out with. There wasn't too much I could do about that right away. So I had the other 2 survivors. I had Anna and Sergej, I hope I'm saying that right. Sergej, build this campfire on the first day. Very quickly found out that Anna had the incompetent trait. I'll get into the traits in a bit, which is really unfortunate. But anyway, I was able to successfully get up that makeshift campfire. And I would have done something I don't think would occur to a lot of players. I would have had these 2 characters, my 2 revolutionaries, Alexei and Wadim. I would have used the fraternize. That's normally it's easier to get to because you're just starting out, but I would use this fraternize option between the 2 of them, and I would have increased their relationship levels right away. Obviously, now we're towards the end of the game, so they've all got full relationship levels with a lot of people, but that was pretty important early on for the strat I was using, which was to use high morale to pass the morale checks, which are very important to keeping your action points safe. Yeah, so that was my first day. I think I would have lost a bit of morale on this character here, Sergej. I hope I'm saying that correctly, because he also had shocked, which did cost me, I think, a couple action points later. But overall, I was able to keep the action point loss more or less under control for most of this playthrough. And then this is what I was doing on day 2. Day 2, we're only a couple things built. We would have had the makeshift simple lining, so it was the very basic bed to start getting my my rest under control, because you really don't want to lose any morale to exhaustion. And the makeshift workbench complete, so I can start making simple tools. So I probably would have built the knife on that same day. I'm trying to think. Maybe the shovel. I can't remember exactly when I built the shovel, but it would have been pretty early on, and probably a lot of scavenging done that day in order to get all the resources I need. Day 3 looks like probably would have been another big scavenging day for me. The solid pot was built, so I can start to get uh, my food and morale situation a little bit under control. Still not able to hunt yet, but I think I was having quite a bit of good luck with a lot of raw foods I found in the wild. Day 4, I think day 4 I had um, I think Sergej got an injury, so I decided to make that my quarantine bed day. Um, and I would have treated Sergej's industry. I think I put a lot of action points into a lot of care action points into caring for um, Alexei, who had he had some kind of sick status. Um, so I think like he probably would have got like maybe 3 or 4 care actions that day in order to clear that, which probably could have been dealt with another way. But anyway, that was doing a bunch of stuff at once. So getting his health back up that he would have lost from being sick, getting the relationships up, clearing away that bad status. So yeah, that would have been a big medical day, that day 4. Um, and I would have had the resources to do that. Or sorry, that was day. Sorry, that was day 4. Oh, sorry, no, I skipped over day. No, I skipped over day 4. Day 4 was the makeshift bed, which is actually the isolated bed. And I had discovered at that point. Sorry, I'm doing things out of order. I would have discovered at that point that Sergej had the insomniac trait, which is not as bad, nearly as bad as the weak trait, but it would have definitely been making it a little harder to keep my characters from getting exhausted. So the isolated bed was built on day 4 to help make sure I was not dealing with too much exhaustion. The makeshift hardened table. So that's gonna let me build my bows and arrows and everything. So I'll be able to get going with the hunting soon after that. Probably didn't have the resources for some of the other stuff I wanted, but I might have been concerned about structure quality, so got the fence up, to keep the wind out and not have to spend as much on repairs. So yeah, again, then I came back to day 5, like I said, a big medical day. Keep in mind, so my builder pair would have been Alexei and Wadim, who would have gotten to a good relationship status pretty quickly, and were able to start boosting their morale with construction. It was these 2 other guys who would have been going off on pretty much expeditions all the time. Would have had to do a couple expeditions with these 2 guys, but again, mostly these guys building. Mostly these guys doing expeditions, and then whatever action points were left over would have gone to like building tools or cooking or with whoever happened to have them, and being very careful not to do anything important with Anna because of her incompetent trait. So day 6 we're getting the makeshift seats completed. Probably not something I have to bother with on the easier difficulties. The reason being that you just need more frost management on the higher difficulties. That's just a thing. So I would have been cooking. I would have been using that cooking pot that I built fairly early on to probably make teas to help clear away indigestion. Cold. I would have used the tea on a character that still had thirst indigestion. Clear up both of those away. Both of those away at once, because I would have been eating raw foods and some of them probably would have given me indigestion. And then at the same time, I would have been clearing away some frost, and I would have also been, I think, boosting that character's morale. So like four benefits in one off the teas. And again, these are just so you know what I'm talking about. Because I can't make the stuff roast and this other stuff until I have the grill. So the fruit teas, herbal teas, I remember I was getting pretty lucky with like with like berries and mushrooms and all kinds of like stuff like that. And lucky enough that I wasn't concerned with the 2 starveling characters I had. So, and I would have been making a lot of trips because I hadn't built the, I would have been making a lot of trips up to the northwest for water because I still hadn't gotten the filter up yet. Um, um, so solid game playing point. Again, probably building this a bit later because of constraints than I'd like to. Obviously, I'd like to start skinning. Uh, But this is a big day, so this is now big 7. I'm pretty well established. You pretty much can tell on or by day 7 how your camp's doing and if you're properly set up for a game victory. But yeah, like pretty well established here. The makeshift large water filter is a big upgrade. I can now produce a lot of water on camp easily. I don't have to make all these constant trips to the northwest, so my action points are getting to be used a lot more efficiently. Um, and if I have leftover action points on Anna, she's probably filtering a lot of water. But she's mostly doing expeditions because of her inconfident trait. Um, so that's how things are looking on day 7. By day 7, I'm pretty well established. Um, Not much going on day 8. I guess probably another big expedition day. Um, Solid Palisade is built to help manage my repairs a little better, and the makeshift raised cot again to just get my fatigue situation just very well under control. And then by 10 we've got the makeshift grill, and we're really well set up, like just beautifully set up. Like once you got that makeshift grill, you can start making my favorite meal, which is the stuffed roast. And of course, I'd already been hunting quite a bit by that point, so I was like golden at this point. I knew I was very well set up, and I had the game in the bag. Um, and again, anything I built after that was pretty much just um, the solid metal workshop is nice to start gathering a bit better. But anything I built after that point is pretty much, I wouldn't say luxuries, but it's definitely um, uh, my slightly lower priority stuff. Again, stuff to resource collect better and keep my frost under control was built next. But again, I'm like pretty much sitting pretty on day 10 when I've got that grill built. Um, so I'll just do a quick look at the conversations. I'm pretty much picking conversations to boost the friendship meters between my two builders at first, which were Alexi and Wadim, because they were from the same faction. I took this Let's Wait for the Patrol quest to grab a little more material, because I think I was definitely hurting for that. And then this quest here helps you discover that there's other survivors. Again, more. So overheard conversation. Can't remember if that ties into the survivor rescue later, but definitely dialogue suggests it does. Again, another conversation between. So we've got their introductions. Another conversation that is going to be between Wadim and Alexi. And also because their morale's so high, I can feed them the indigestion food and not worry about it as much. Um, Particularly Wadim, who wasn't dealing with the sick or anything. Um, and then probably trying to grab another quest. Unfortunately, I don't think I ever got this quest done because I had the renegades were just camping that all game long, so I never managed to get this Let's Check the Handcar quest done. And another conversation to boost the reputations I care about. Probably running out of the conversations I care about at this point, but a couple more things to boost the friendship on Alexi a good amount. And the card game conversation is just like a big friendship boost, like between practically everybody. So this is a great conversation if you get it. So let's see. So I just wanted to. So again, if these ones are a little more redundant, I'm just grabbing some random conversations. that I think will not hurt anyone's friendship. Um, this is an automatic conversation on day 10. Um, I'm just trying to get to the point where, and then on day 13 is when there's a tile to if you're somewhat experienced, you're probably familiar with it already. Tile to the southwest of the camp, um, and then the following day, uh, oh yeah, this gets you the quest to find the survivor, other survivors, and then at the end, and then during that same day, day 13, I would have rescued Zofia. And then I had 5 survivors and a makeshift grill, and then Zofia turned out to have the cooking trait, so I was like really, really locked in. But while we're talking about traits, let's just go over how the RNG treated me trait-wise. So this was pretty rough. Having a competent and starveling on Zofia, very rough. Um, so making it a little harder to keep up with my food situation, and I basically have to be ridiculously careful with what I do on her. She's pretty much trying to use up all her action points on expedition type stuff. Maybe having her unsnow or anything like that. Definitely not having her build, because if she messes that up, then I'm out resources, and that would be quite a setback. So that was kind of how I was handling Sophia. Um, uh, Sergej would have been doing a lot of expeditions with Anna. Um, Unfortunately, not making much use of his handyman trait, which not really seeming to do much anyway. A bit underwhelming. The iron stomach trait also underwhelming. It was not preventing the indigestion at all, and I really don't care about shortening the duration. I'm pretty much his morale wasn't great at the start, so I was pretty much clearing that away with teas. Again, Insomniac was a bit pesky, which is why my build order focused a little more on the beds and everything. I didn't even know that he had solitary until a while later. Alexi, messy trait. Not really too fussed. I'm not usually too concerned with credit. So this might have helped with the morale a little bit actually. So doesn't look like a terrible trait. Wasn't able to make good use of the observant trait right away because unfortunately he did not end up being one of my builders. But this is definitely a nice trait to have. Let's see. The braggart, unfriendly. This is not really hurting too much here. The unfriendly looks like a really bad trait because obviously I want to get those friendship meters up, but I didn't really notice it hurting the meters too much, so not a big deal. Starveling definitely sucks, but was able to manage it. Again, that's just a flavor trait, and I think I've gone through everyone's traits. So, and there's the sick trait. I remember he started the game sick. I don't know if that's tied into it, but I think that's like he default on the higher difficulties. He default starts the game sick, just like everyone has like a default debuff they start with on the highest on Resident and Siberia or the highest difficulties. But yeah, Anna came with these clothes, which I never got around to upgrading. Hemophilia, luckily I just got really lucky, and I was actually like by the time I had her, I was building all solid, and didn't have to. It was mostly using her for cooking because I found out she had the cook trait. Maybe for a handful of expeditions. Yeah, because I did find out she had observant and well, which was nice. But yeah, not too much to deal with there. So that was me progressing through the game on the highest difficulty and dealing with the specific traits that I had to deal with. So hopefully that gave you a rough idea of how I got through the game. I'm now going to set up an expedition to finish up this game. And hopefully taking you through my diary was a lot faster than trying to show you how I micromanaged every single day. So we're gonna see. I think we're gonna do we're gonna take some. Let's see, where's my harpoon? My trusty harpoon. Doesn't really matter what I do at this point because I'm just trying to finish off a quest. I don't know. I'm just taking that for good luck. So let's see how this goes. Oh, you know what? I should have taken my my torch. You can see here how on the higher difficulties, just the incredibly, just all these tiles just depleted, which you wouldn't really see. All this stuff. But as you can see, I'm not gonna read this stuff out because I'm just trying to get through this quickly. But I will read out the actual end game text. So this is just letting you know that there was evidence that Chatoon had been badly injured by some of the stuff that had been set up. So I'm going to post a link to how to beat Chatoon in the wiki, as I've already put a guide together for that in the wiki. Just going up here for fun, we're going to it doesn't look like we're having too much luck on this square. Obviously that was a waste of action points, but again, I'm not too fussed about it because we're just at this point we're so well set up that like pretty much nothing I do at this point matters too much. And I don't know, we'll have you know, we'll just put him to sleep. Actually, what do we do here? We'll have just to boost the relationship meter a bit. I'm not gonna get all the best endings. We'll just do that. I just didn't put enough into trying to get the best conversations. I'll have her check the traps. Oh, I actually almost forgot to skin this rabbit, which again really doesn't matter. This is just my OCD. It's not what I wanted to do. Because I could randomly save that for another day for no reason. There we go. So yeah, that was gonna expire, so I was like, whatever. Okay, we're good now. Oh, and let's feed everybody. They all need food. But yeah, very good, very solid on food, as you can see. Also built some power tinctures for fun, just in case I wanted to do anything a little extra on the last day. See, I'll just keep everyone well watered. I won't even see that water status the next day, I don't think. And then we'll just put some people to sleep for fun. We're all good. We're all good for the last day. I'm not even gonna do anything. Oh, this is just a random Anna event. Let's see, a man of letters. Is this? I really should have tried to. Anyway, we're just gonna skip these because this isn't really. These aren't really relevant to anything we're doing here. So we're on the last day. We're all set up for the win. I'm gonna skip all this stuff. go ahead. I don't think, yeah, we're pretty much good here. The sun has set for perhaps the last time. You know what? I'm not gonna read that stuff to you. I just feel like I can't do it justice. Um, so my characters all taking hits, as you can see in the left from the events that are happening here. All my characters all have well topped up health, so I'm not concerned about them losing like 12 health. Um, they don't really say what you're stabbing it with, but they do mention that wanting to build a harpoon in some of the dialogue that happens throughout the game. Um, uh, Again, my various characters taking hits, um, but 12 health is not really a threat to any of my characters. Well, it's like topped up health. Um, okay, so all of my characters have taken hits. Um, and this is more or less where so a tree after all that fighting, a tree falls on Shatun, the bear that I've been struggling with, and that ends up what what does him in. Um, but this is the victory on the Shatun scenario. I'm gonna post the link to how to win the Shatun scenario in the description below. Um, but there's the happy ending to help will come tomorrow on the highest difficulty. Um, and yeah, just went through everything that went into it. Again, the build order that I discussed uh, might be a little bit different the next time I do it, or if you try to do it. Um, but here we am enjoying the end game cinematic as I've won. We got a nice big fat bear to munch on. No worries in the world. And we've finally been found by the people who run the train, I guess. And that is pretty much game. Um, Fortunately, I only got the best endings uh, for 3 of the 5 characters, which I guess isn't terrible. Um, but that's the win on highest difficulty of Help Will Come Tomorrow, and I'm ready to do it all over again. If you guys are looking for any tips on the game at all to do with anything, feel free to message me here on uh, my YouTube or on the Help Will Come Tomorrow fandom wiki. I'll be posting this video there. It's going to be license free. So any kind of likes or subscribes you can get to support the channel will be greatly appreciated. That's everything, and until the next video, I hope you guys enjoy playing Help Will Come Tomorrow.